In July of 2013, a game called Kanye Quest 3030 would hit the markets. An indie role-playing game where the player character, Kanye West, finds himself in the year 3030, a dystopian future filled with clones of iconic hip-hop artists. Upon release, the game received pretty solid reviews and got a lot of attention, mainly for its interesting story and bizarre concept. At the time, it seemed like a small indie success story and nothing more. But the story of Kanye Quest doesn't end there, because it turned out something strange was hiding in the game. Years after its release, a player stumbled upon a secret room that contained strange codes, hidden puzzles, and even messages leading to a cult. Even stranger, it suggested that the rest of the game was nothing but a front for the secret area. But to what end? This mystery has stumped its followers for nearly 10 years, but finally, we have an answer. Today, we're going to be falling down the rabbit hole of Kanye Quest 3030, detailing everything from the meaning behind the obscure cryptic room to the unnerving cult ties and even the elusive developer of the game themselves. This is the full story of Kanye Quest 3030. To start off, I should give some background of the game itself, as it definitely isn't your average RPG. The game begins with Kanye going about his daily life in 2010, when one day he falls down a wormhole while taking out the garbage. It transports him to the dystopian future set in the year 3030, where we soon learn that the world is in danger. To save the world and return home, Kanye must team up with the clones of rappers from years past, which include the likes of Tupac, Jay-Z, and Eminem. It's a strange concept for sure, but that's what made it stand out and what caused it to be reviewed by popular media outlets like Wired, in addition to YouTubers like Dunkey. However, like many other small indie games, it seemed destined to be enjoyed before fading into obscurity as time went on. That was of course until one player happened upon the mysterious hidden room. In January of 2015, a year and a half after the game's release, an anonymous user made a post on Pastebin detailing what they had found hidden in the game. While playing, they had noticed the word Ascend was written in slightly scrambled text on an in-game terminal. So later in the game, when an NPC prompted them with a dialogue box, they decided to try typing it in, trying their luck but expecting nothing of it. However, upon doing so, they were instantly transported to a strange building and the player's character was changed into a small white butterfly. In this new area, a text box appeared saying, "Congratulations. You have proven yourself to be an open-minded and curious thinker. We must apologize for deceiving you, but we can reveal that the game you were playing until this point was a front, constructed to protect what you are currently accessing. We must ask that you do not reveal this area to the public. If you believe you may be prone to revealing information or do not wish to participate, please close this program immediately." The game then asked the player if they'd like to proceed. Selecting no would simply close out of the game, but selecting yes would lead to more information and puzzles to solve in order to quote-unquote ascend. In total, there were 34 puzzles spanning the secret room, which turned out to be in the shape of a pyramid. Answering one of the puzzles correctly would allow you to ascend slightly higher in the pyramid until you reached another one. These puzzles proved to be quite difficult though, and even once the hidden room was made public, none could get very far. That's when the data miners got involved. By searching through the game's files and code, they managed to find the solutions and passwords needed to reach the end. Upon reaching the top of the pyramid and typing in the final code, the game congratulates you on ascending and asks if you would like to ascend further. If you select, the game will then ask for your personal information and tells you that you'll be contacted shortly. What happened next? Well, strangely enough, it seems that no one was ever actually contacted. So, what's going on here? You might have noticed the common theme of ascending within the secret room, from accessing it initially to rising up to the pyramid, and even at the end when the game asks you if you'd like to ascend further. This appears to be a clear reference to Ascensionism, which is a decentralized cult with its main beliefs centered around reincarnation. The oldest online reference to this cult goes back to 2006, although specifics regarding it are hard to find. So was this game an actual recruitment tool for a cult, or was it just a strange Easter egg that took players years to find? The only way to find out for sure was to dig a little deeper. When no one was actually contacted after putting in their information, internet investigators looked through the game's code and realized that the game didn't even have a way of retrieving their information. So they began looking into the game's developer, who went by the name Phenix. But when questioned about the hidden area in the game, they gave a confusing answer, saying that it wasn't their game at all, seemingly another dead end. However, with a bit more digging, investigators managed to find an old unfiction form for an ARG or alternate reality game called Ascensionism. And strangely enough, this ARG was being worked on around the same time as the Kanye Quest game, with a YouTube video on it being uploaded in September of 2013. Eventually, researchers found a creator's name by donating to the PayPal link in the Ascensionism video. The name was Nick Lyons. A Google search for the name didn't bring up much other than a Bandcamp profile, which showed that Nick Lyons was the only person signed to a seemingly fake record label called Ascensionism Records. Ascensionism Records also had a Bandcamp profile, which revealed a different name, Valerie Scheffner Harris, another possible lead. In 2021, the game theorist actually managed to interview this Valerie Scheffner Harris in an attempt to get some answers. In the interview, Valerie explained that Nick Lyons was just an alias she created and that she made up Ascensionism as an ARG to release music inspired by Cults Through. So mystery solved and case closed, right? Well, not really, as Harris also explained that she had absolutely no ties with the game of Kanye Quest 3030 and wasn't sure how her artwork and idea had ended up there. To make things even more confusing, there were multiple references to the Ascensionism cult before Harris had started using the name for music releases. This essentially brings us back to square one. Keep in mind that the Game Theorist video came out in 2021, 8 years after Kanye Quest's initial release. Yet we were still no closer to solving the mystery of the hidden room. And that's how things would remain for another year. In October of 2022, a web series called Finding Jesus came out. It was a series focused on uncovering the true identity behind the game's creator and the mystery behind Ascensionism. While its search started off slow, they eventually made some progress when they came across a credits list for Kanye Quest 3030 made by Phenix himself through their old Tumblr page. Most of the list wasn't important, but one name in particular attracted interest for playtesting the game, Harmless Tank. The web sleuths behind Finding Jesus then discovered a YouTube channel linked to Harmless Tank. They left comments on every video until they received a reply, which eventually led to an interview. During the interview, Tank explained how he had met Phenix, the creator of Kanye Quest 3030, by playing games with them online. One day, Phenix had asked them to try out Kanye Quest, which is why Tank's name appeared on the credits. After the game's release though, the two didn't remain in close contact. Not giving up, Harmless Tank was able to track down Phenix's Steam account through his old Steam friends list. He was even able to get in contact with Phenix, whose real name we now know is Clara Hope, and she agreed to do a tell-all for the Finding Jesus show to put the whole mystery to rest. In the interview, Hope explained that she made Kanye Quest as a final project for school and came up with the game's strange concept. As for the secret level, she explained that originally it was going to be its own unique game, but ended up being put in Kanye Quest through an update as kind of an Easter egg, which makes sense considering the entire game seems to change when you enter the secret room. As for the purpose and reason behind the area, Hope revealed that there really wasn't one. She explained that a family member of hers belonged to a cult, which inspired her to make a piece of art based on one. She chose the name because she found that a lot of New Age cults were all using the name Ascensionism, and she just wanted to add to the confusion. Over the years of this mystery's existence, many individuals have come forth claiming to be the creator. So of course, this raised some eyebrows when it came to Clara's admission too. But by all accounts, there appears to be enough evidence to prove that Clara is the actual creator behind the game. For starters, her timeline of the game's creation as a school project lines up perfectly with the game's release and the subsequent updates. In addition, Harmless Tank, the one who connected the investigators to Hope, is listed on Kanye Quest credits by Phenix. If that wasn't enough, when Hope was interviewed by Finding Jesus, she showed off another piece of her art, the Eye of Ascensionism. Created at the same time as Kanye Quest's release, it matches up noticeably with the artwork from the game. So I think it's safe to conclude that Hope really is the creator, which means that almost 10 years after the game's release, we finally have an answer. The hidden level in the game really is just an Easter egg. It might be an anticlimactic ending to the puzzle, but it's an answer nonetheless. Oftentimes, it seems we tend to focus on the more outlandish theories in an effort to explain something mysterious, when in reality, more often than not, it's the more mundane and simple answer that's the truth. This is the principle of Occam's razor, and this seems to be one of those times. I think it's important to remember, though, that while the answer might not be what many were hoping for, the journey of finding out the true reasoning behind Kanye Quest 3030's secret room was truly an interesting road. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you'd consider subscribing or leaving a like down below. I'd also really like to know what you guys think of this video and topic. Is this style something you guys would like to see more of? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and have a good night.